The road to WrestleMania 42 continues to intensify, and one of the most explosive rivalries in the women's division right now revolves around Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Their growing conflict took another dramatic step forward during a recent episode of WWE SmackDown in Phoenix, where the reigning WWE Women's Champion Jade Cargill stepped into the ring for a non-title match against Michin. The match itself was meant to showcase Cargill's dominance, but it quickly turned into another chapter of the escalating war between two of WWE's most powerful female superstars. Michin came into the match determined to prove that she could stand toe-to-toe with the champion. Known for her toughness and resilience, she immediately showed she wasn't intimidated by Cargill's reputation. Early in the match, Michin tried to use her speed and striking ability to keep the champion off balance. She landed several quick attacks and attempted to control the pace of the match, hoping to avoid the raw power that has made Jade Cargill such a dangerous competitor. However, while Michin displayed impressive heart and determination, the difference in physical dominance became increasingly clear as the match progressed. Cargill began asserting her strength with devastating force. The turning point came when she lifted Michin and drove her with a brutal powerbomb onto the barricade outside the ring. The impact echoed throughout the arena and immediately shifted the momentum. From that moment forward, Cargill looked completely in control. Once the action returned to the ring, she continued her assault with another display of power, delivering a massive chokeslam that left Michin struggling to recover. With the crowd reacting loudly to every move, Cargill finally sealed the victory by hitting her devastating finishing maneuver, the Jaded Sit-Out Slam, securing a decisive win. The match itself was impressive, but what happened afterward truly grabbed the attention of the WWE Universe. Standing tall in the ring after the victory, Jade Cargill grabbed a microphone and addressed the crowd. Her tone was confident, almost defiant, as she spoke about the effect she has on everyone backstage. According to Cargill, whenever she walks through the hallways, people fall silent. She implied that her presence commands respect and perhaps even fear among the roster. Cargill then shifted the conversation toward the looming confrontation at WrestleMania 42. Many fans and commentators have suggested that she should be worried about facing Rhea Ripley, a former women's champion known for her brutality and relentless fighting style, but Jade dismissed those warnings entirely. She told the audience that fear is not part of her vocabulary. Throughout her life, she claimed, she has never been afraid of any opponent or any challenge. In her eyes, WrestleMania will be no different. With the crowd listening closely, Cargill confidently declared that she would defeat Rhea Ripley on the grand stage of WrestleMania and prove once again why she remains on top of the women's division. Her words were bold and unapologetic, reinforcing the dominant persona she has cultivated since arriving in WWE. But before she could say much more, the atmosphere in the arena changed instantly. The music of Rhea Ripley hit, and the reaction from the crowd was explosive. The Australian powerhouse made her way toward the ring with intense focus, her presence immediately shifting the tone of the segment. As Ripley stepped through the ropes, Jade Cargill made a calculated decision to leave the ring rather than confront her face-to-face. That choice did not go unnoticed. Ripley picked up a microphone and responded directly to the champion's earlier comments. She accused Jade of running her mouth all the time, but refusing to stand and fight when the opportunity actually presented itself. Ripley's voice carried a mixture of anger and determination as she addressed the situation. She challenged Cargill's self-proclaimed image as a symbol of empowerment and dominance, suggesting that true strength comes from facing opponents head-on rather than avoiding them. The tension inside the arena grew even stronger when Ripley delivered a particularly harsh statement, declaring that after WrestleMania, Jade Cargill would end up being her subordinate. The crowd erupted in cheers, clearly energized by Ripley's fiery words and her willingness to confront the champion without hesitation. The moment felt like a preview of the explosive clash that awaits them on the biggest stage in WWE. However, the rivalry did not stop there. Later, Ripley continued to escalate the situation through a backstage video that was posted online. In the clip, she spoke directly about Jade Cargill and questioned why the champion had walked away earlier rather than engaging in a confrontation. Ripley made it clear that she views herself as a true fighter, someone who thrives on conflict and competition. During the video, Ripley mocked Cargill's constant talking and suggested that the champion spends more time boasting than actually proving herself in the ring. She compared Jade to a small, loud dog, saying that Cargill behaves more like someone who talks endlessly rather than someone who truly wants to fight. Ripley insisted that if Jade plans to mention her name publicly, she better do it with respect, or she will be forced to earn that respect the hard way. The rivalry between these two women is rapidly becoming one of the most anticipated stories heading into WrestleMania. Both competitors represent different forms of dominance within the women's division. Jade Cargill embodies overwhelming physical strength and an aura of invincibility, while Rhea Ripley represents relentless aggression and fearless determination. Their personalities clash just as much as their wrestling styles. Another factor that makes this rivalry compelling is the emotional intensity behind their words. Neither competitor appears willing to back down. Every statement, every confrontation, and every social media interaction seems to push the conflict further. Fans are beginning to wonder whether their hostility is purely storyline or if there is genuine animosity between them. What is certain is that the stakes are incredibly high. For Jade Cargill, WrestleMania represents an opportunity to solidify her legacy as the most dominant champion in the division. A victory over someone as respected as Rhea Ripley would strengthen her claim that she belongs at the very top of the women's hierarchy. For Rhea Ripley, the match carries its own powerful motivation. She has built a reputation as one of the toughest competitors in WWE, and she believes that defeating Jade Cargill would prove that reputation once and for all. Ripley wants to demonstrate that the champion's dominance is not unbreakable. As WrestleMania 42 draws closer, the tension between these two superstars continues to escalate. Every encounter feels more intense than the last, and it seems inevitable that their rivalry will eventually explode inside the ring. The WWE Universe is already buzzing about the potential match, imagining what could happen when two of the strongest women in wrestling collide. In many ways, this rivalry represents the evolution of the modern women's division. Both competitors bring unique strengths, personalities, and fan support. Their confrontation symbolizes a battle for supremacy, not just for a championship, but for the identity of the division itself. If the recent events on SmackDown are any indication, the clash between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania 42 could become one of the most unforgettable matches of the entire event. The intensity is real, the rivalry is personal, and neither woman seems willing to step aside. When the moment finally arrives, the question will be simple yet powerful: who truly belongs at the top?